All right, can you hear me? Can you let me know if you hear me in the comments? Yep, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So as for the previous stream, I'm working on my iAnimate first assignment, which is a combo. So I'd like to thank iAnimate for allowing me to uh, share my progress. And we will get started right now. So this is where I've left the animation yesterday. So I've been polishing the animation till the kick here. So I've been polishing the root of the character, this part here, all the torso, the head, the shoulders, the feet, and the arms. So almost everything but the hairs and the facial expression. This is the last thing I will be polishing, I think. I will work on this once I finish the whole animation, or at least the whole polishing. And yesterday I spent the end of the streaming focusing mainly on those motion curve for the ends. So the idea is to make nice curves and nice flow of the motion in camera space. Okay. Even if it's a game animation and it should be working from every angles, the fact that there is always a point of view in a game, you will always favorize the camera view in a way. So if it's multiple angles, you will need like very good animation from every angles. In this case, it's like I don't know, a fighting game view. So I'm focusing now on the camera view and the side view mainly. Okay, so we'll start polishing the second half of the animation, and there will be a lot of work because a lot of things are off. So I will switch to the other model. I will get rid of all the effects here, and I'm using this model because it's way lighter than the other. It has less polygons, so it does respond a little better, and I generally reach the 30 frame per second, which is the tempo of my animation. So I will just get rid of those motion trails. Okay, and I will focus on the roots here from the side view, and I always have my camera here to see if I have to make an artistical choice, let's say, I will make it based on the camera view, even if I think I will slightly modify the staging in the end, just the rhythm of the camera. I will try to favorize this. So here I will start working on this part, the recover after the kick. So there is one thing here that I do like because it's realistic, and in another end, I don't like it because it's a bit noisy. If you watch the left foot here, when she recovers from the kick, she will relax her leg by closing it in a way. She's rotating the heel forward. And if you try to give a side kick, even if it's not that high, but even in front, it can be pretty painful if you're not super flexible. And generally, it's easier to give a front kick with your toes pointing toward you, not on the side like that. So generally, when you give a side kick, if you relax, your foot will drop like that. But the not so cool thing here is that it brings noise to the animation. So I don't know if I will keep it. We can see that the foot is rotating then to be into a more stylized position like that when she's grabbing the gun in her back. So I will need to make a choice about this. So I will first work on the root here, I think. Thanks, Wong. Does it make sense? So here I think the foot is going a bit too close to her butt, yeah. And it does, there is a very fast move here. So we'll just check, maybe I've already worked on this leg, I'm not sure. I will see it in the graph editor if I have any vector curve or, no, doesn't seem to. So I generally start with the location here. So since she's dropping her foot to the ground, there is like very little chance that her foot will be slowing down before reaching the ground here. So having those curves here with a knees out like that or a knees in, it's not a good idea. So I will switch to vector. That will make a bit more sense. And now I will just, for the time being, push the foot slightly away from the butt here, like that. Okay. And I like the foot to be pointing toward its target, so the ground a little earlier, because here it's still pointing a bit, I don't know, like upward or something. So I might have to work with the knee here. We will see. Or just rotate it a bit toward the ground. I will check. So I'm. It was pretty easy to, let's say, spline the previous poses. But for this one, it's a bit more confusing, to be honest. I will make it going down a bit smoother. And I will make a larger arc. So here we can see it goes like that. I will just increase a bit this one, because it doesn't look bad to me. So, and I'm not super inspired, to be honest, by this one. And from there, I want her like to drop her foot toward the target a little more. So I will push it forward a bit more here. And here I will keep it near the body a little longer, so that I'm amplifying the S curve of the foot is making in a way. Here I'm checking if the body is not like it really feels like the body is moving at the same pace as the foot, so I will try to offset it a bit just after. It's pretty smooth. Here that's weird because the foot is rotating pretty fast, then it's stable here, and then it rotates backward and then again forward. So I will try to make it rotate a little smoother, let's say. No, I did rig the character. So I got the Maya rig. I've exported the deformation skeleton into an FBX, and I re-rigged it into Blender. Because they don't provide Blender rig for the time being. But who knows, it might change. Okay, that's the curve. That makes the... I don't know. Still not. It wasn't that bad. But this plateau here. Okay, we just rotate the foot to have the position I want. Something more like that, more toward the ground. Oh, okay, I know why. This is because I'm also using the foot roll here to rotate the foot. This is why the curve doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But yeah, here I should watch at my camera view. Yet it's not that bad. I will just rotate the foot a little more toward the ground here, because it seems it's pointing here and the knee is pointing down. So I will raise the knee a bit. I will rotate it by hand. And also I think I have some quicker bone here that has moved. I use it to this one. Yeah, there is a lot of space here where it's not used. So it might be moving at some point, yeah, here, because here it's animated to reshape the foot. If I cancel its position, you can see the foot by default, so it makes an arch angle of the ankle, which I don't like. But when moving here, it can be like, yeah, that's... I just canceled its rotation. I think I will cancel it on all the previous frame and just keep it here. So you can see that it's changing only on one frame, and now I can focus on controlling the foot to shape the movement. Okay. So here it's rotating a bit too much, and it's going to be painful for sure. I will play with the knee later on. And here it's rotated a bit too much too. So what I'm looking at here is the tip of the foot. I'm tracking its rotation. Okay, I'm not watching the curve because it's in quaternion and it's changing somehow space since I'm rotating on 3 angles at the same time. So it's gonna be hard to read the curve properly. But here I'm just watching if it doesn't rotate like super fast on one frame and then slow down and then accelerate. So it's at the, you know, the rotation spacing looks clean, and I think it's decent here. Now I will just watch for knee pops or knee orientation. But I think it's getting somewhere. Yeah, that's definitely smoother than before. There is still the little jiggle in the foot, but it looks less noisy and less like it wasn't meant to be there. So it's like there is a trail behind the toes. If you follow the toes, there is just this little transition here that looks a bit weird, but that's fine. And the knee is getting down pretty properly. There is just this transition where the knee is almost at the same level, which is natural, but not necessarily what you want between those two frames. So I will just raise it a little bit on this one, just a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's just to have an even spacing. So this is something I will probably have to rework when I will start playing with the root. So I generally always polish contact element like feet or IK ends if they are touching something. Like in a punch, for example, if I'm using IK for a punch or for a grab, I will polish the root motion, so the bones that control the whole spine, and the ends, the moment where they will, or the feet, the moment they will touch the surface. Because for me, those are the key elements, and then the hips, the chest, even the arms, etc., are just moving in dependently of those. So for me, those are the most important. You know, the foot, for example, on a jump, the foot timing is as important to me as the root motion, because it's the things that will, I'm hitting the ground, so now the root must change orientation, slow down, move in other, change direction, etc. So here I will just check the arc of the root, because I think it's already pretty clean, but I will see if I can, for example, here push it a little more on the back like that to create, like, if I have an arc, a flat arc like this, maybe make it a little rounder. That's a bit weird, like shape. I shouldn't make 2 drawings next time. So I will just let the animation run while I'm catching up with the comments. Is there a way to see the FPS on the viewport in Blender? Yeah, on the top left corner here, frame per second, 30 here. And you set it up in the document size. Okay, just here, frame rate. And you can even remap the frame rate. So I will show it to you. I think you will love it. If you want to, let's check the jump, which is pretty polished here. But I will increase the frame rate using time remapping. So I will cut in half the speed here. So now I need to double this value. So I will go further, and here you okay. Let's try some à 130, 200%, 100. Okay. You see? So I won't look at this too much because there might be some interpolation issues, but I mean that's also a good way to double check your animation. If it looks cool in slow motion, you are sure that at real speed it will look very nice. The slower an animation, the more obvious the bugs will be, or the not so good stuff. So I will, okay, we will stop at 100, something like that. And we will polish in that range. I'm just catching up with the, sorry, with the chat. Is there a way? Okay, I need to, okay. Sorry, I am Edgar, thanks for answering. Yeah, but the motion trace add-on, at the time I was checking it, I think it wasn't working for Bones, but I've seen that now it support Bones. So yeah, I should try it definitely. That looks, yeah, like super handy. So basically the add-on allows you to see the motion trace of your character and manipulate it in space, directly in the 3D space, as if it was a curve, a 3D curve, which is, yeah, like super handy for sure. You should try, yeah. Impact frames, okay. Thanks, Alex. Okay, I've catch up. Okay, so let's go ahead with the root motion here. So here the root motion is like a gunshot, okay? So it reach its extreme. You can see that there is an offset in the hips coming first, then the root, then the chest, and finally the head. And the chest, the hips are pulling while the chest is still going up, okay? I will need to refine the arm motion also, because there is this flap as some sort of recovery, or I don't know, like to show the impact, but it's crossing the leg. So it's not that much of a problem, but it amplifies its weirdness, let's say. It goes like that, but it crossed the leg, and so it disappear and reappear, and I feel like it's super distracting from the kick. You see that? So yeah, that's a bit maybe nitpicking, but I think I will just like keep it away from the knee so that it doesn't. But I will do it once I've polished the root. So here the root has been polished till this point. So here I can't really move it backward or whatever, or she will lose balanced. She's like pretty balanced, I think, or maybe it should move a little forward here. No, I think it's okay, but when she's going down from there, I will start pulling it back a little bit. So I will play on the Y position here. Wow, that's super sensitive. Okay. And here I will just, like, there is also rotation involved. Okay, so even if the curve is not that smooth, I need to think of the rotation too. What's bugging me here is that there is a big gap here forward, then it slows down, then it's like another pace. So I will try this way. I think it's gonna be better. I will just check if the leg is behaving properly. And I can catch up with the hips if I have an overextension here. I will be able to give it a bit of hips, or even pull the hips a bit, or move this if I need, just to fix the leg shape. But you can see that here I'm slowly getting something interesting. So if I enter this pose, I will try to make a nice arc like that. Okay, so I will probably then I need to find the correct axis. Just curve the back a little bit more here. Okay, I can do it right away. Maybe drag the head up a bit, and now she's diving, so I will get rid of this. So this is where I'm not super fan of the camera movement, because it's rotating a bit too fast. And I will go like lower here. Yeah, there is a lot to fix in the rotation too. So I will check if I can go a bit lower. And I will also rotate the controller later on. So yeah, from there to there, it looks weird, but I think it's in the rotation. And again, there is a slow here, so I need to raise her a bit more. So it's almost linear here, but that's fine. I will drag this down a bit. And here it's raising like a little faster. So I'm pushing all the poses right now. That's about it, okay? I will watch it from, because I see this weird gap here. So here she's like a lot on the right, but from there, I think it needs to be a little more like that. Now she has a lot of weight forward with the knee and the arm here. And here I really want her to dig forward to amplify the rotation. So in a way, the head and the torso is leading the animation. So it's always the bouncing ball stuff, like here I'm stretching, okay? Then the ball get on the ground, she's squashing in like camera space, okay? So if I draw on my screen rapidly, I've got something like that. Here I've got something like that, etc. Okay. So yeah, when Dixon or whoever animator tells you everything is a bouncing ball, just listen to them. It's yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So here you can see there is a big big weird things happening here. So I really need to check the rotation here. So I think like position wise, I will track it so that it does. We can see if there is any issues. So I'm going to the armature option. I will frame from 82 to 100. Okay, and calculate it. Okay, and now you can see that the arc is pretty clean. Okay, there is not like any frame jumping around. It's looking great. Here I will probably just push it a bit forward. I don't know, maybe not. So if there is a problem, it's mostly in the rotation here, I guess. But on those, yeah, from the, you see here, if you track the head now, I will track the head, you will see that it hasn't looked good. You see here, going like almost left, right, down, okay? So we want to avoid this. Here, this pose is like really not good. But it might not be the head movement that is bad, it might be just the rotation of the root. This is why you start with the root, basically. So let's check the rotation of the roots. So okay, yeah, this is this, I think. I saw like a big change in the twist that didn't look very good. And yeah, when you watch the curve, yeah, there was this. I mean, you can have like curve like changing like you don't need to, or you may not have them all going like super smooth from one to the other. But when working on the rotation, I mean, it's like a very, I don't know what to say, like smooth movements. You will generally have smooth curves, okay? If I take this and put it like that, okay, that doesn't look good, okay? But I still have like, yeah, it's the chest here that completely change orientation. Yeah, that looks really bad, but we will fix that. Because I think so what I can do here, I can lock, if I do believe the chest is the problem, I can lock it here. And you can see here the problem, I mean, in the curve, but let's say we don't know, okay? I just told Blender not to use it anymore, okay? And now if we watch this bone, this controller, you can see it's moving pretty smoothly because it's, let's say, a child of the root. So if it does move properly here, that's fine. If I now look at the head, so I will just track its position. I'm not looking at its rotation because there is a bit of, I don't know, leaning forward motion that is weird, like she's like horizontal, looking down, looking on the side. A lot of things happening here. So yeah, clearly the problem is not from the root motion. It's from this one. Hope it makes sense. So I will here I will mostly reshape it frame by frame by hand. I will also enable this. So those are secondary controller. I will mainly move like that, okay, just to avoid like pinching elements or stuff like that. But those are secondary. Okay. Yeah, there is definitely a problem here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the head doesn't help neither. And I want her to be more rotated so that her back is more toward us like that. So I will make her back diving more into the next pose. And you can see naturally that I'm getting the shape I was looking after. But while I've made it like on the fly just before and it doesn't really make sense, here it does make more sense when using the... I'm not saying you have to use the curve. What I'm saying is that using them allows me to find the pose with ease. So you can see now she's like doing this with her shoulders, like a spoon in your favorite yogurt. And here maybe she should rotate a little more. But since the camera is also rotating around her, we don't feel her rotating like that much because the camera is following her. So I might have to slightly offset the camera movement so that she's like taken from a side here, and then the camera will catch up. But I will focus on this view. Okay. Wow, she leaned forward a lot here. That's really not good. I mean, don't like that. Because here she will lose balance for sure, even if, I mean, it's a video game, who cares? But yeah, I will also make her get back a little faster. So from the camera view, you can see that it doesn't change that much because we are almost on the side view. But I do want it to work, you know. Okay. Now it's less. It's not still a bit off balance for sure, but that's fine. Let me just close the window. The neighbors have released the kids, released the Kraken. I have a playground just in front of my office, my apartment. So yeah, when it's kids' day, that's like crazy noisy here. That's why I don't record on Wednesday. Even with the NVIDIA RTX denoising stuff, it works like super well, but you can't beat under sugar kids. So watching the curve, it tells me you should pull this down a bit. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bit. Yeah. The arms will be like super important in this movement. Yeah, I want to raise the shoulder a bit faster. Also on this frame. That's yeah. I think the arm will help. Yeah, for sure, because I'm not really bringing any cooling. I really want to get this this like she's dealing with the shoulders. Maybe I will also, because here I feel like she's just making an up and down motion. I almost I almost prefer the animation from this point of view here. So I definitely need to rework the camera motion. So you can't really see the camera motion here because there is no background, but if I enable it, you can see how just stare at the ground and see how much it's rotating. This is why we don't get that much of like the her rotation, because the camera is rotating at the same time and it's counter animating the shot. So I think I will make the rotation occur when she's preparing the shot here, because during this motion that will make perfect sense. So I will see if I can. I will save. Yeah, yeah. The spoon in the yogurt. I was more thinking about like chocolate and nuts, a creamy thing that is very famous in Europe. I don't know if it's famous abroad, but I didn't want it to use any brand name because I'm not endorsed. So it's in the staging here. I probably have an empty. I will just offset its rotation so that it finish rotating just before she shots. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I need to ask my colleague that is working on Noara. Is better at staging than I am. Yeah, but I think yeah, we can feel the spoon right now. Yeah, that's okay. I think it's okay. So now I will work with the neck and the head. So I have a little issue with that. Is that the issue of that is that I have a problem with that. My English is like super good. Let me check. I will just check if there is no weird angle in the body. I haven't polished the hips. There is a lot of curves going on. I'm just here. I think the hip could drag a bit on this frame. So she has her weight on this leg, okay? So it will, you will be more like that, you know, if it was the case. But motion-wise, you can see that the hips is falling this way and the body is falling this way. So I could just make it drag a bit on this one. And from there, it's very hard for me to tell, to be honest. Also because the area is pretty busy at the time, I will just bring them up a bit so that on the next frame, when she goes down, there is a slight drop. So here I would have done a slight overshoot of the hips, but she's like extending pretty fast. I should have watched at the spacing of the root here when it goes up. I will just curve her a bit back. Let me check that. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So my spoon goes and goes back, okay? Like I have my full stack like that, and I will just make the hips. So unfortunately, I feel like the movement is a bit slow, but I will just make the hip drag a bit here. And it will catch up just after. Yeah, that's very subtle. But and here I will raise them a bit. Like a spring effect, you know? Yeah. It's really fast. But you know, when it will be played frame by frame, and the goal here as a school assignment is to do the best animation possible. When working in production, you don't depending where you work for sure. I mean, I guess a senior animator at Riot Games, or I don't know, something like where they are working on very iconic characters, they must spend like hours on each animation and do a lot of different variation of the animation, which is, I mean, it costs a lot, so that's that's luxury, let's say. But this is why it makes the difference between AAA and other games. It's this power. But what I was saying is that you don't necessarily have the time in production, whether it's TV shows or games, to dive that much into details. And this is why here it's a school assignment, so I need to do as best as possible because I have the chance to have like senior artists from Blizzard reviewing my work. So you just want to push it to the best you can. But I may not do such level of polishing for Noara, for example, where we have to hit deadlines. And while we are always trying to do our best, sometimes we say, okay, we have a day to do this animation, for example, like half a day to do a run cycle. And yeah, this is how it works. So if you're into animation and work in the animation industry, and it's also for whatever kind of project you're working on, if it's sculpting or stuff like that, try to always have a personal project so that you can push the boundaries without having a budget or someone behind you telling you that we don't have time to, or you don't have time to go that much into detail or to polish the animation that much. So yeah, the next issue here is rig limitation due to 180 degrees limits in Blender. Unfortunately, the twisting is, I've been fighting with these twist issues all along. So I have this controller. Let me check. Maybe I'm missing one. Spine tweak. I think I had one that allowed me to fix this. Oh. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. I will check this later on. But yeah, that's a bit problematic. So here I'm tracking whether the nose or the chin of my character, this part, because it's easy to read. And I see there is a big change of direction in the animation. So yeah, this pose should be like slightly lower, I guess. This pose, I don't. Also, I should try to. Yeah, now if you track the eyes, for example, I will try here. They are following again enough. So here the head, it's like we should see a little more of the top of the head, I guess, on this pose. The neck must be like super broken. Yes, it is. And she has those zombies' eye, but I will fix that later. So here I will just rotate a bit the head, plus it will bring the head more into the silhouette. So when I was talking about the bouncing ball and the squash of the body previously, it does enhance this this feeling here, because in the whole silhouette the head gets more into it. So here I do have a good feeling of the head diving, and there I don't like it. I think it should be more on the side. And here also. Plus ponytail and the hair are pretty stiff. They are not that easy to move. So they won't be of great help to enhance. So here I have a big gap in the motion. I will check with the curve here. Yeah, that's weird because, but I need to open the face so that it matches the next pose. So I'm trying to find a balanced, but that's, yeah, that's tough. Yeah. I need to favorize one or the other pose in a way, because the transition from this nice arc to the next is not that obvious, and as soon as we see her face again in the, like her eyes, it's like popping in space. But I think it's not looking that bad. What I can do maybe is also pull the head a bit inward here and the neck too, because she's leading with the shoulder, and so she's pushing her head up so the head gets into the chest and then extending in the, so I won't be dragging the head too much here, because just a bit, because I don't want to have something too squashed, and while I get something very lyrical with those arms that I have made using rubber limb stuff, just to have a frame of smoothness. But yeah, I don't know if you can feel. I will catch up with the comments now. But yeah, it's starting. I'm getting very nice arcs here. I think I like it. Just a slight, this leg here is a bit concerning because the knee is popping a bit. There is a overextension. I will try to fix it using the heel rotation, but she's a bit on backward, so you will, if you try to be on the tip of your toes and lean backward, it doesn't really make sense. I think I won't be mimicking this, but I do like the flow. Even here, the arms are not that polished, and it does already reach pretty well when I play it real time, I feel. So what I can do here is going to flatten material to have this. And I can, maybe I can change the background. Yeah. So you can see the, so I'm not in camera view. I will go into camera view just to show you the whole animation here before I catch up with the stream. So here, for example, it might not be the best silhouette because we feel she has only one arm, you know, and we don't necessarily know which arm it is. Here it's better because I can see the elbow, okay, supporting the animation. And this is also something we have polished yesterday. Before we weren't seeing this elbow in the screen space, and now it's appearing, and it makes the silhouette stronger. Here I can't really see, but we are switching weight, so it's pretty hard. And here the second arm is appearing. Here I have a nice circle here. Maybe I should work a bit on the shape of this arm. Yeah, like this one is one of my favorite poses. It reads like super well, like straight in your face. And the jump is pretty smooth too. I think. And here, yeah, the silhouette does. It still reads pretty well, even if she's really compressed. And here we have no doubt of what she's doing. And here neither. So yeah, add cap textures. So let me catch up with the, if anybody's saying something. Okay, I have the gene. I'm narcoleptic, thank you. Have a look from the top view. Perhaps Earth center of gravity is not over that fits. I love her eyes. She looks furious. Yeah, Funimation 6-1. Yeah, so you can check the center of mass from any orthographic view in a way. So yeah, I've checked it before. It's a bit off when she's grabbing the gun. Yeah, like here, she would be falling, you know. So this is something I've started to fix a bit, but screen space wise or camera space wise, it does look good still. But yeah, you should always think about this for sure. I will see if I can on this one also. I don't think so. I don't think I can stretch the weapon here. Yeah, that's a bummer. So this is something we do in Noara. There is only one bone controlling the gun, so. But we often have stretching controllers on the weapons to create geometrical smears like that. Yeah, we can see it on screen. So if I had like, I don't know, maybe just 3 bones maybe to be able to curve the guns, that would have been a good thing, but it's not the case. But yeah, it works on this frame. I will just, so even if it's off the end a bit, I will fix that later. I will just curl the fingers around it, stretch them maybe. I don't care, I just want to draw a nice frame here. Yeah, if it makes sense. Okay, so I will just now go back to, so I think, so I'm not saying it's done, but I feel like it's looking okay from this. Maybe I will just rotate a bit the hip this way and push it a little more like that. I wanted to have just a little more of this part of the trying to shape the body here, but I need to find, to have like something really smooth like that on this side, while here it's more pinched. Maybe I could use those. But I don't want to go crazy with those secondary controllers. Even if it's just for and here the hips are popping, that's not good. Okay. And now I need to drag her into this pose. So she's like sliding into position because she does know that the gun is gonna give like a super powerful shot. I will just extend a bit the animation here. I will switch off the light on the side here because it's even if I look like super cool with it, it's just like blowing my eyes away. Or if I wrote, oh, yeah, that's better like that. Ah. Regarding animation course in Blender, away from Wayne Dixon, I don't know any good course. I've taken a few. I mean, I've taken them all, I guess. But I think CG Cookie is the best resource for the time being. I've taken courses from other people related to animation in Blender, and I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. And the best course will be mine for sure. I mean, everything I do is so fantastic. Everybody knows that. But it's not out yet. Hopefully for Christmas. And this is one of the reasons why I'm taking this class at iAnimate is that I really want to, yeah, push my level before I pretend I can teach people how to animate. So it doesn't mean you have to be the best animator in the world to teach people how to animate, because it won't happen, at least for me, at least not yet, unless the COVID-19 just kill all the other animator in the world. But I will lose all potential students, so that will not be a good deal for me neither. But yeah, I just want to be like a little more legit and just learn from the best before I and maybe share some tip. But yeah, just try one of those cool. So yeah, I do recommend iAnimate for sure. I'm really enjoying the classes. And Wayne Dixon did also, is an iAnimate alumni. So he used to be there too. He's now animation instructor at CG Cookie. I will slightly overshoot this one, just a bit. You see, just to have the, so the idea then will be to offset a bit the chest, then the hips, to have a punchy setup. So I don't want it to be too strong because it means she's heavy, and that's not the case. And the more follow through, the more overshoot you put into an animation, the more weight and the more lack of control you're inputting. Okay, this is one of the things I was saying yesterday. If you imagine a dragonfly flying like super fast and stopping everywhere, or a colibri, I don't know if we say it like that in English. This kind of animal, it's like super light, and it does work with perfect control because it does so many movements at a second. And so you may not use overshoots on such an animal, for example. But if you are animating shooting an elephant, for example, you will put a lot of overshoot in every motion, a lot of dragging and a lot of, the head stop, but it does the body stop, but the torso is still moving on the side because there is a lot of weight to be stopped. So you need to input inertia. So if you're making a Kung Fu master and you're making a nice combo, really stylized, then really you need to make very subtle overshoot for sure. I will go for this at least. So here I'm just tracking the motion. I really want her to go right and then left as usual, make a nice arc. So I will, until it doesn't break the pose too much, I will push it. So when she's going down here, I feel she should go on the extreme right a little sooner. So I think yeah, maybe on here she will be more on the right. So I can't really do it with curves. I will add another control point here or key. And she will dive into the shot. So here I will maybe even make her going a little lower and a little sooner. Like here. Yeah, I think I like the most. So again, focus just on the root motion here. So it's hard because there is a lot of things going on around it, but I will track it and I think you will feel what I'm saying. So I will track it from there because, and 2 frame, let's say, yeah, 1, yeah, looks good to me. So yeah, I will go into camera, but you can see that there is a pretty nice flow into it makes a nice drop shape here. That's pretty cool. I don't have like a point like straight down and then it goes left. Okay, it makes a nice S-curve here. And the spacing seems to be relatively good, meaning that from one point to the other, so here we can see it's like going faster because there is a lot of space between the different points, then slow down, a little hold, and she's dropping. Here is the fastest move, sorry, and then slowing down until she settles. So she reached her extreme here, it's the overshoot, and then she's like settling into the next pose before she will be shooting with the gun. Okay. So yeah, this is what I was looking at, the root motion only, not everything, because the hips are doing something interesting, let's say, but I'm not sure it's good or not. So I just focus on the controller I'm using. Hope it makes sense. Okay. So in the end, there are part of the animation where you almost animate on once. So it's like, in a way, doing traditional animation. And this is something I wasn't doing like maybe a year ago. I was relying a lot on curves. So I was making my extreme poses, maybe a couple of intermediate poses or in betweens, and I was polishing, just moving the curve and saying, okay, if it goes up, then I don't know, just like that. But the more I learn and the more I animate, the more I put energy in the blocking stage and adding more poses. Because if you do it like and you think about what you're doing. So if you give sense to what you are doing, it will work. So here I want to, to keep I don't want to get this angle here. I want to make it smoother. So since in the beginning she was settling here, then going down, and my mentor advised me to go directly to the next pose. So I will not make the body pointing toward the right of the screen. Here it's curved backward, and then I want her to flow like that, so I will keep her more or less in that pose. You see here, she's like leaning a bit forward. I will just keep this a bit back, and I will try to, keep the rotation the other way. So this is this one. So you can see here also another limitation. I'm hitting with the arm rig, but that's fine. We don't care. I will fix that later. And here the hip pose is not good. I don't like it. Yeah. So here I will just push the hip. So I will translate the hip a bit on the side, because with rotation I won't be able to reach the pose I want. So I'm offsetting it like that. Here I mean, since the spacing of the root is okay, I can shape the body just using those controllers. A bit like a layered way of animating. But before I got into full layer mode, so the thing that I've made a video with a run cycle using layer modes. I had a very detailed blocking beforehand, so here I don't, not that I don't care about if the shape of the body is natural or not, but I'm more focused onto the whole silhouette here. So here I will make the torso drag a bit on the other side. So that it comes a bit later on. So I'm translating and rotating it. And there it will catch up. So I will just keep here. I don't like the fact that it's a bit pinch here and a bit pinch there too. So I will just try to fix it with those secondary controllers. Okay. Here it can drag a little more and catch up, and slight overshoot, like super subtle. So the root, the root arrived at its maximum here, so I will just offset it by 1 frame, like that. And we have this little very subtle jiggle. So the thing is that we already have it in the body, okay? So it should go through the arms and even be amplified for the arms. So if you have jiggle in the root that is very subtle, it will be amplified along the chain. It's like using a whip, for example. You just move your arm like that and the whip make a big movement. So yeah, don't overdo this kind of thing. And then there is the fact that your shoulders and hands allow you to counter any jiggle. It's like taking a chicken and moving it in space like that. The head is not moving, but it's not because the head is a separate part of the body. It's just countering the motion of the rest of the body. So, and this is how you keep balance. For example, when your feet are on something that is moving a lot, and you're countering with your root, and then the rest of the body is moving maybe a little less, and the arm are just trying to keep you balanced. But yeah, from there, I know that I will be fighting with this part here. This is something I've made like 2 or 3 versions of it since I've started making this animation, and I can't seem to be able to. So it's very blocky here. There is a couple of poses and that's it. But I can't, even if I like the pose and the idea, I can't seem to find a way to make an appealing animation for that. But yeah, okay, I think I will be polishing the arms from there. So as soon as she smack her hands here on the gun, the left arm is in IK. And it's bound to the right arm. So I will just be animating the right arm from there, and the left arm will follow. And then I will polish just the elbow of the left arm and the fingers if needed, and this lovely shoulder twist if I can, because I'm not sure I will be able to fix this bug. Ooh, that's so cool. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one of the limitation with Blender. When you are using constraints and you reach the 180 degrees threshold, it will flip and get back to position 0. So I guess there are ways to avoid this, but I haven't really think about it yet. Maybe there are new options in the constraint. I don't know if any of you knows about this. Or I was thinking of that would be like super painful, maybe using drivers to fix that. But yeah, I'll see. So I will just try to catch up with the with what you're saying, guys. So yeah, the dummy, the character that gets beaten is not polished at all, so it might even be offset in time compared to our movement. But that's it. Fixed camera in cinematic look. What does it mean? Fixed camera in cinematic look. Hey, Mariku, thanks for joining. Hummingbird. Okay, thanks. That's the way you call colibris in English. Yeah, retopology. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you can do when watching a streaming along the way. Okay, Richard, so I can give you an overview of the rig if you want. Okay, so this is something I've shown in the previous, in the one of the first streaming, but I will show you. So these are just the deformation bone first, and then I will go crazy showing everything. Okay, these are the deformation bones. So those are the bone I've taken from the rig provided by iAnimate. So it does look perfect in Maya for sure. I don't know if I have bone, maybe. Okay, here I fixed the. Yeah, here the body was fixed. I'm just trying to show you how it looks when you import it from FBX. So just a quick thing. So I've just opened them in Maya and exported them as FBX. I've made another rig, another character, which is half something, half creature, let's say. I think I can show it to you, because I wanted to use it for the second. Did I click open or happened? I don't know. Import, I don't know. For the second, yeah. So this is how it looks when you get it inside of Blender. So the bones are here, okay, but they are not like pointing the right way, etc. Some there are still controllers, still locators here that help to control the rig in Maya, but are not translated properly in Blender. So you basically start with some bones that are no longer connected one with each other. And so here is the little mess. And with skinned character. So they are already assigned to this deformation armature here, okay? So this is from the FBX. I mean, what they provide are fully functionable rigs that are like super good, but only works in Maya. And when I export them to be used in Blender, it looks like that. So then what I've done is what you've just saw here. I've reorganized all the bones, reconnected them. So they are the classical deformers, and there are also corrective bones. So I've learned quite a lot working on those rigs. And I've again labeled up in rigging. So this is cool. And then my rig setup is 95% the same as the one I'm showing in the course. Here the UI is a bit different. I've been using the bone layer manager as usual. But then Wayne Dixon proposed me to edit the rig and improve the UI so that I have everything here properly displayed, instead of having it on each different bones, etc. Okay. And then here you have all the, I love doing this, showing all the bones so that people go crazy and think it's too hard to teach, but you don't place them all at once. You just, it's layers and layers of complexity. So one thing, the sentence of the day, the quote of the day you have to write as an epitaph for me is complicated things are just layer of simple things, okay? And when you're rigging, you're not trying to make everything with one bone. You make a bone that does a thing, that constraint another bone that does another thing, that constraint another bone that does another thing, etc. And this is the way I teach rigging, and I do my rig, basically. This is the way I would say rigging has to be done, with the pretension to know what I'm doing. And yeah, here you are. So the spine rig is like almost exactly the same as the Rigify spine rig, but I have a few personal option in it. The arm rig are, I mean, everything is pretty close to the Rigify in the end because it's a very, very good rig. But I have a few specific option and some bones don't behave the same way because I don't necessarily like the way Rigify is built for some stuff. Also, I have a side foot roll, some stuff like that, some other options. But yeah, it might look like super complicated, but yeah, it's not. So yeah, give me money, buy my course, learn to rig like that. So yeah, the thing is that it allowed me to get into the school because I really wasn't in a mood where I would buy a Maya license and learn Maya. I wasn't into this idea when I was thinking about joining the class. So I asked the CEO of iAnimate if I could get the rig and try to re-rig them so that I can follow along with Blender. And he accepted and provided me a couple of rigs I asked him to send me, and I've remade this one in 3 days and the other one in 2 days because I was wound up, let's say. I've spent like 5 to 6 full days rigging, full time. It was cool. Okay, whatever. So yeah, going on to the arms now. So I just want to check the knee and the leg. But I think it's moving pretty nicely. I will just check here just the leg. This thing here. When she raised, just right here, you see the pop here in the knee. It's not bad. I mean, it's not a big pop since I have a stretching into the legs. You don't feel it. It doesn't feel that, well, that's decent. I mean, but if I can reduce it just a touch so that it doesn't show that much, I will rotate, use the X curve here. So something like, really just a bit so that I don't necessarily want my foot to be raised in space, but now it's not overextended. And that's just what I want. We almost don't feel the foot raising, but yeah, it works. If it makes sense. No, to reorganize the rig, it's mainly reconnecting the bone one to the other. So it wasn't that complex. It took me maybe a couple of hours maximum. It looks messy like when you import it, but once you get rid of the mesh, you hide them, you check the bone, you move them a bit to see which one does what, you know. It's not that complicated to the foot are looking okay. Okay, for me that's fine. So I will work on the right arm first. And I just want here to just fix this first on the left. So I will hide the spine. Hey, thank you Netflix, but it's not the right moment. we just rework this a bit. So the rotation mainly. Okay, that's fine. Here I will just drag it down if I can find it. Okay. And I will hold a bit the overfoot here. So instead of going back too fast here, I will keep it away a bit longer. So I will offset those frames a bit. And I will slightly overshoot this one. So here, yeah, it looks weird just after. I want it to relax a bit, yeah, a bit more, but I don't want it to cut the leg. Okay, so Yen doesn't help because it does this weird stuff, which made sense before, but now it doesn't look that good. Yeah, I should keep the end something like that, like in control. Because now I feel like there is a lot of jiggle into it. So I will fix the end because I'm not sure if the forearm also does something weird here. I think this is going to be a painful moment here. Because the arm is almost staying still. Okay. So here I will get rid of this big drop here, which doesn't make sense anymore. So just to let you know at the end of the stream, if you have any question, I will take a few minutes to answer them. So don't be shy. I don't beat, not yet, at least. Yeah, the fingers are bugging me a bit because I want to keep the end like dragging when she goes down, but since I've crawled the fingers from the previous animation, it doesn't look good until there. So I will rework the fingers too. I think it feels a bit stiff, the forearm here. Huh. That's weird. Okay, overextend, and here I'd like it to drag a bit. keep on dragging here. So always complicated where when you have when you're working on arms animation, because they bend and they twist a lot, and so their shape and the direction of their shape is evolving in time. You know, if I bend the arm like that, but then I go it face camera, and now it looks straight while I want to keep a curvature. So that's, yeah. And look, it doesn't, it's useless at this moment. So why arms? If I was just animating a bouncing ball, it will be way easier. So arm should be forbidden in animation. That's what I'm saying. I need to fix the fingers. Definitely, it's because it inputs a lot of motion, and since the motion is not good, it doesn't look good. So here, when I'm working on the fingers, I'm almost working on once. So I don't really look at the curves unless it's like a very close shot of a hand, or if it's a very, very smooth motion. But here it's a pretty fast action. I just break the wrist a little more here. Okay. Oh, okay, I know. That's it. So I will bend them a little more because they are dragging, so they should be pointing toward their previous position. Okay, yeah, also, yeah, I understand. Here, so she's kicking like super hard, but there is a big motion change in the hand position from there to there. So it's released as if she was kicking with the arm here. You can see this, it's like, I don't know, like bending a lot and then release and then just stop. And so I need to fix that here. Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes more sense. And then she overextend, and you see she like not overextending, but she's like straight arm and it goes back like super fast, and this is not good. So when I read the curve here, it does make sense. So here I need to maybe add another keyframe like that, you know, like overextended, and then it will slowly bend back as she's recovering. And then she make a straight arm, but it's to keep balance. It's not because of the previous movement that was like super fast. So yeah, this is one of the so so far, I would say it's one of the thing I'm really looking at now since I've taken this class, because I feel like this is one of the feedback my mentors did the most to me when he was reviewing my work. Watch out for the spacing, because so it was more or less disposed. It looks cool, but the difference of position of the arm from one pose to the other, and this is animation, was like super extreme. And yeah, does it make sense? Okay. Or is it possible? Or why would this arm like move so fast at this point? So for the foot here is like crazy fast, okay? But it makes sense because that's the goal. She's kicking. But the arm is just there to, to recover. And the fact also that now it's extended after the leg makes the animation way more interesting. So hope it does make sense too. So I'm figuring this out more or less while animating. This is not like, I knew it's going to be like that, etc. But it's like your mentor is telling you you should take care of this, okay, when you're animating. And at some point you just spot it by yourself, and it does make way more sense. Even if it was already making sense before. This is not my... But yeah, it's like, okay, now I have this revelation, and I know that for my next animation, this is something I will be looking at. So as usual, when you face difficulties or things you don't like, in a way, you don't forget them. And if I was tracking the hand with the motion path, I would have seen it for sure. But I didn't. I don't like this hand shape here at all. Yeah, that's really not good. So again, something I've told yesterday. I will put the link in the chat. But there is a talk by Galti Hjalmarsson, I think. Galti Hjalmarsson, I was close. That is just something you must watch. This video, so watch it after the stream, or just open it in another window, where he explains how he deal with hand animation. And so for most of the thing you were saying, I think some of them I was knowing, but he's giving tips about hand shapes, and this is so cool. I mean, the whole talk is like pure gold. It's a very, very good animation talk. And I think one of my favorite from this guy, he's from the Blender Cloud and the Blender Animation Studio. So we can pretend he's like a very good animator for sure. But yeah, I love this talk. It was like a big revelation, you know, for me. Also, it's something I've said, I think, in my advised course stuff. But you should try to follow some of Aaron Blaze's stream. He's animating traditionally with hand drawing, which is like, just for that, it's fascinating. He's a former Disney guy. He's like a god of animation, and yeah, it's super inspiring. And I feel like when he talk about, I don't know why. I think this is because I feel like it's an uncle, or it could be a father or something like that, you know. And when you talk about animation, it seems way more accessible, and you know, just something where he's having fun while he's showing like crazy stuff, like super high levels of skills. And yeah, that's should be focusing a little more on what I'm doing. Okay, let's see. Oh, I don't even can't seems to be able to watch it properly. Yeah, that's the. Wow, it doesn't look really good here. It's like super snappy, but it doesn't absolutely not match what I've been doing so far. So I need to push this one further. Yeah, and even and also, I don't know if it's still the case, but he has a lot of courses on his. So I'm not affiliated, just to let you know that I'm not like promoting thing because I would make money with it. And if I was, I think I will promote things that I feel like they are good enough to me. But I think that like a lot of his courses are still free, or like $1 instead of 75 or something like that, because of the COVID. I don't know if it's still running, but yeah, I booked like almost all his courses. I haven't even watched them all because there are a lot. But you know, some, even if he is drawing classes, I mean, that's so awesome to see this guy. And this is one of the streaming I watch the most, even if he's like drawing, and I don't like almost never draw, but I love to watch this guy working. It's so inspiring to see. Such an incredible artist working. I should have watched my curve instead of pushing controllers. I mean, curves never lie. I could have made overshoots like way faster instead of. But this is because I'm talking while I'm walking, so not the best to stay focused. Focus. Yeah. There's still something wrong about it. I think maybe there is too much motion in the end, in the hand, sorry, for my, and so it's very distracting, or I'm just over focusing on it, which can happen for sure. So I'm just, reducing the motion. Yeah, it's better. And I will just catch up a bit more. So the hand here looks terribly flat, which is something you should avoid at all costs. She has a weird hand that's very hard to pose, and I think I will, go ahead because I will spend my whole day trying to fix this shape. And I don't really know how to fix it, to be honest. Okay, so I will continue onto the arm here. Damn, it's so hot today. Coil in for more speedy attack. Yeah, I've been using a Taekwondo reference for this one. But the guy doing it, I will show you the reference, is like super, like he give the kick and stop like that, like full in control. And here I wanted her to kick like super hard and go then in the next thing. Oh, well, the reference. Let me. Okay. So this is what I've been using to make the animation. You see? Yeah, it's like, and in the video is like that. He wait for like 1 or 2 seconds and then he draw back. So yeah, he's like in full control for sure. But he's not jumping prior to the kick, you know. So here is like on this reference, he's making a stepped side kick, and I blend it with this kick up here, and boom. But I did the punch myself. Woo! Okay. What I like is that it's like full stop when she kicks. She's like coming into the screen like super fast. Almost as if she was, because it's cut here, as if she was falling from the sky, you know, and it's almost like a good prank or animation prank if I just try to frame it like that. Wow. You can feel that she's coming from afar and just kicking things out. I shouldn't do a meme after with this. Okay. So okay, back into animation, please. So the arm motion is pretty smooth, so I won't be playing that much with the translation of the arm. I will do it mostly to fix pose or to make overshoot like on the punch in the beginning. Here you can see that it's stretched and also pulled off out of its sockets. Yeah, just on the frame, just to get the pop. But here I want like a very lyrical movement, so I will mainly work on rotation, and also the blocking is already pretty detailed, so that's fine. You see here I'm almost on ones. But here I want to drag a bit the arm. You see she's rotating, so I like to keep, if we track the hand, it's moving at the same pace as the foot here. I will just slightly delay the arm rotation, and this is because I'm lacking of keys here, so I will just add a key with Shift E, so a breakdown using the breakdowner in Blender. So again, a shout out to new channel Munoz. You might know him. He did a video about the breakdowner like yesterday. He's a super good animator and a very good guy. So you should follow him because yeah, he's my animation buddy in Blender, and he's like yeah, a fantastic animator. So I'm just favorizing the previous pose, and I will slightly offset this one just by 1 frame, so that the arm sorry drags compared to the leg. The leg is leading and the arm is here to keep balance. I'm just opening it a bit more here. I need to check it from this angle because yeah, it doesn't look bad. I have a nice flow with the other arm here. So now I should try to track the elbow and its spacing, which look pretty even, but I think I will slightly bend the arm inward here. So it might be this one. Okay. So the flow of the arm, or the line of the arm, is almost straight here. And also it does much betterly than exposed. So I will also drag this down a bit. Okay. This X rotation here, this bump in the X curve. Okay. So here the quaternion curves are, I have this one here, the Z quaternion, that is almost flat. So it does keeps the other curve behavior pretty stable, like a bit like a Euler rotation. So I can play on this segment more or less as if it was Euler rotation, but without the issue of having gimbal locks. I will slightly overshoot here, and I still think here I can bring it back a little more. Because it felt like a broken arm, so it goes fast, slow down. Here it almost stops. I will drag it a bit more. So I'm in this elbow position in space, okay? It goes fast down here and slow, and then it goes the other way, okay? So I have like a very fast movement here, okay? And then it's when it slows down that I do the smear, so it doesn't really make sense. So I need to drag the arm here more so that it gets more or less to its maximum speed when I'm using the smear effect here, okay? So you can see the curve was like that, so full speed and slowing down. And what I want is accelerating full speed when I got my smear, and then it just changed direction, okay? Because it's twisting. Again, the big difficulty with arms is that they twist. Hopefully it makes sense. Yes, so what I did explain about Blender is that they do all the classes in Maya because it's aimed to industry standard and professional level, and Maya is more advanced or more developed for animation than Blender is. It's more powerful, let's be honest. But I've asked them if I could re-rig the characters in Blender so that I can follow the class in Blender. And one thing you have to really grasp or really understand is that as all craft, animation is not software centric, okay? So if you are a good animator in Blender, you can then learn Maya and become a good animator in Maya. That's not a problem. But regarding iAnimate, there will be giving the classes in Maya. But to be honest, like 90% of what they are teaching is not, they are not teaching me a click here in Maya to do this. They are showing a couple of tools for sure, of specific tools, but that's absolutely not the focus of the class. And all the lectures we have, so let's say the theoretical lessons, for the time being, there were absolutely no lessons that were Maya specific. And I've been able to apply whatever they were teaching inside of Blender without a problem. And you should be able to apply it in whatever software you are using for animation. If it makes sense. I think it does, but it's like, you know, sculpting in ZBrush versus sculpting in Blender. If you're starting sculpting, sculpt in Blender. Don't waste your money in ZBrush. And once you feel comfortable and you want to a more professional tools, because Blender is very good for sculpting too, then get ZBrush. But whenever you're watching a sculpting course, it's all about, if we speak about characters, anatomy, proportions, training your eyes, whatever. Okay, so it's never about the software. It's or maybe the introductional, you know, chapter will be about the software, but it's always about the craft, sculpting, and it would apply to traditional sculpting too. And a good traditional sculptor, give him a week and he will like blast everything in ZBrush or Blender for sure, because learning the tool is pretty fast. Using them is not like something you learn fast. And yeah, for the people that are here following this this stream, I do promote Blender, etc., because I think it's an awesome software, and the fact that, and especially to learn, I think this is what I generally tell to people when I'm giving class or thing like that, that it's an amazing learning software. But I always try to forget about the softwares. I always try to give to the people the will, or the will to learn whatever craft they are into, whether it's animation, sculpting, modeling. We don't care if you are modeling in Blender or in 3ds Max or Maya. If I were to choose for modeling, I would choose Blender, because I think for this it's the one of the best for poly modeling, clearly. But yeah, I will not even talk about this, And when I'm on ArtStation, I'm not watching other people work. I'm not asking myself, did that in ZBrush or in Blender? It doesn't make it a better, sculpt. And often you see like crazy good sculpt done in Blender and crazy bad done in ZBrush, and that's the same for animation. Because mastering the graph editor or the dope sheet, whether it's in Blender and Maya, it doesn't take that long. And understanding how to cheat with the rig doesn't. It will take time, because you will need to understand how rigging works, etc. But the constraint workflow, even if the tool is a bit different in Maya, etc., is pretty much the same in both software. So when I was cheating yesterday to fix quaternion rotation, this is something you will do in Maya too, using I don't know, using their filters, or changing the rotation order on the fly. I feel like an old fart saying all of those things, Like, listen to me, kiddos. The secret is in the craft, not in the software. The truth is in your heart, not in the book. Yeah. For example, the best software to learn digital drawing is a pen and a piece of paper. But because there is no control Z, so you really need to to fail a lot and restart, etc. So I haven't been drawing on paper like for ages. Even I don't know if it does it to you too, but when you have to write by hand, for administrative stuff or thing like that, it feels so weird. Like I feel like I don't know how to write by hand anymore. Like I feel rusty as soon as I take a pen in my hand. That's that's pathetical, let's say. So here, that's kind of, that's gonna be a weird move, because the elbow will dive in her back. So I think I will pose it by hand first. because curve-wise, I absolutely don't know what to do. I just would like to create some small antique when she grabbed the gun. Like she's opening the arm a bit and then she grabs it. Even on one frame, instead of having something like really like that, something more snappy or. But I don't know if it will match the. So maybe I need to hold this pose a little more. Or it goes so fast. I really will have to track the hand properly. I think the elbow motion is not that bad. Yeah, and from there I will see because it's an iconic move of of this animation. So here the rotation there is a it opens too fast and too early, I think. Okay. That's weird. The end motion is weird here. Who is Jeremy Finelli? Never heard about this guy, but I love you too, whoever you are. Hey, stranger, I love you too. What time is it? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit tired, so I feel like I have some starting to have some difficulties to focus on what I'm doing. Here I will just make the hand drag a bit. I should track the hand, I think, at this point, because so do I make an antique where I open the end like that, or is it diving into the back of into her back? So I think I will go for the this pose more because it will flow like that. It will make a C shape also. If I break it, it's gonna be, if we isolate the hand, we will feel like a fall through or something. But I don't think it's going to look really cool, really good. I don't know if I have to. I should have, yeah. Yeah, I will rotate it toward the. a bit like that, and I will revise a bit the end shape. Okay, let's try like that. So I need to work on the finger. There is a back and oh, okay, it's probably again the camera rotation that bugs me. Okay, I will just track the hand animation here. I'm just melting in my office right now. It's very hot. Yeah, okay. So here this thing, I don't like that back and forth. And it's also here in the you see in the camera space. So I really need to fix this. So I can use whether the shoulders that I haven't touched because I don't play with the shoulder that much after the blocking because the arm is not inheriting the rotation from the shoulder. So it's mostly something I would tweak to create follow-through animation from the torso. But here, if I play with the arm rotation here, I can get a better, a better curve as usual. So I'm just looking in the 3D view here and just fixing that like that. So here you see I have a big drop. Yeah, like super big drop between those two keys, even from the side view and the camera view. I will just relax a bit the arm and bring this back here. So as usual, to create an arc, okay, that will like read well in the camera view, and if it can make sense also in whatever view I'm looking in which I'm looking it, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's. I mean that feels better for sure. So I'm not inputting a lot of dragging in the end. I will just input a little bit because the end is in control. She's trying to reach to the holster. So this is what I told you before. I won't make it drag like crazy, just a little bit, just to input weight. And I need to work on the fingers too. Okay. So yeah, whenever, so I should do this like more often, but whenever there is something buggy in your animation and you can't grasp it, just use the motion path. Let's just check the other hand just for fun. Yeah, that's super fun. Just to see if the motion of the second hand does make sense until there. So here is the thing, sorry, I was a bit fighting with later on, or sooner, sorry. then there is this acceleration, and it drags like before, and then you can see it's accelerating when I get the curvy motion in the arm, so it makes sense. Okay. So here it may not look perfect, but if I and I have this little here, this little angle too. Yeah, it's like an overshoot or something. Maybe I should relax it a bit like that. Well, I don't know. I don't really know where what to push this, but yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Ooh, I'm dying. Yeah, it looks like a gunshot. That's really cool. So if something that will be industry approved for art surface modeling for games. No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know one school, but if you get there, that means that you're already very, very good. There is the Gnomon school or Gnomon school. I don't know how to properly say it. I mean, whoever get there is like very, very high level in the beginning for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really got into this, even if I did a lot of modeling for games, where there are some specific technique to bake, etc. I don't think you need to go to a game school for that. You might go into a school that will teach you how to properly sculpt a character or design a character. But for me, the game requirement thing is something you can learn pretty fast. So it's mostly how to adapt a character to or an object or whatever to game requirements. So modeling and topology tips, but and those are important, but I think you can find a lot of good resource online about this. For art surface modeling, I don't know, honestly. Character, yeah, for sure there are a lot because it's pretty popular. So everybody wants to be a character artist. So when she's teleportation here of the gun, yeah, you don't know how to do this? That's super. Everybody knows how to teleport a gun in its hand. So here, from the camera view, it's not that. I mean, we can't really feel the cheating. So I will just try to match the pose on this frame. Yeah, I'm almost there. and she should be pulling it like, I think it's the next key frames that are important, because the arm, camera space wise, is not moving that much, okay? But so I can work on her back, even if we won't be seeing it in the final render. I don't want it to, look like crap if we look around. So I will work on the next frames, the one where she's pulling the gun out. So let's assume this is okay. Then I will be able to tweak it a bit by moving translating the arm, translating the fingers, etc. But on this pose, I really want her to be pulling the gun out. Okay. So since I've already polished, and hoping that my mentor will say, okay, those couples of frames are okay, I can work frame by frame and try to make a pose where she would really be pulling the gun out of its holster. Because in the silhouette of the character, we could see the tip of the gun, and then it just disappeared, which doesn't really make sense, So I will just try to basically match the holster geometry here. So yeah, that's a bit of I don't know what to say, but in French we say bricoler. I would say maybe cheating, or just like doodling in a way, the pose, but for good reason. I think I have an holster. Yeah, I have a controller. So I will pull it, okay. As if it was getting, it's a laser piece that is rotating while she's pulling it away. Oh, cool. Okay, so the gun is also constrained to this, so I can cheat a bit, slightly rotating this controller. But we'll keep it between between us. Okay, so here, yeah, I don't want to see the gun in our silhouette. I think I need to start pulling it a little sooner. That's some painful pose to watch. I think it works. Where it doesn't work, it's in the camera view here. See, hidden, like popping, like here it's two on the outward. Yeah. So I need to, yeah, that's I need to tweak again. So there are ways to cheat with that, using aim space and stuff like that. Things that I've learned from the Reclico course at Animation Chapter. I've made a lot of promotion about it, because first I love this guy. He's like super accessible. I had the chance to talk with him a couple of times, and I do love his course. For me, it was really I don't know. it really light a bulb in my head in a way, like, oh, uh, like beyond what I've learned in this course. I mean, in the philosophy of animation. Because it's showing stuff that are absolutely unorthodox animation-wise, I would say. But the result is just incredible. And so at some point, I was like, okay, we don't care about the method. What's important is the result, you know? So it's like when we are talking about softwares and stuff like that. I don't care, to be polite, about the software you are using. For example, our second animator in Atypic Studio come from Maya. And I don't care. I mean, he has learned using Blender like in one day. So what we care about was that he's a good animator, and that's it. So and you see a lot of people on forums, etc., like fighting about what is the best software. And for me, that's just a waste of time for for people that I don't know, are looking for excuses, etc. The higher you go, if you talk to any like high-end, I don't know, artists, they will never talk. I mean, there will be way more open-minded about using any kind of software or technique to achieve what they are doing. That will be like, I don't know, an angry youngster trying to convince the face of the world that the software he's using is the best software in the world. So, okay, I need to focus a little bit more on what's happening here. So again, I will probably track the end. So she pulls the gun out. The thing is that it's lagging a bit. I mean, not the computer, but the animation. It's like she's holding the gun in the bag before, which can make sense. I mean, yeah, I will do that. I will do like she's holding the pose of the gun in the holster, so that it allows me, to make some kind of antique while she's making the spoon motion I was talking about earlier. And she's not fighting like with the holster because it's stuck in the gun is stuck in it, but she's like making sure she has a good grasp on it, or I don't know. And then she pulls it out. Like a samurai taking his sword, waiting for it, and then ching, going like crazy fast. So here I need to fix the pose so that we feel like the gun is getting out of its holder. Okay. And once I've done those poses, I will just, so if you have any question, it's now, just put them in the chat, or if you want to see a specific part of the animation, because as soon as I have finished with this part of the animation, I will just let it run and stop there, because it's almost 3 hours of streaming after 12 hours day of work, almost 11 hours, or something like that. So yeah, it's a bit painful on the eyes and on the brain. So here it's too high. Oh yeah, there is a lot of bouncing in the elbow here. That really doesn't look cool, but I will fix it. So this pose doesn't work with the previous one, and that's because it's totally messed up. I will track the tip of this bone. So if I enter edit mode here, I will track this point, which is the elbow. So with this one selected from, let's say, 85 to 95 or 96, when I do calculate here, I can choose whether it's the head or the tail of the bone. Okay, so now it's following the elbow, okay, which is what I'm concerned about in the camera space here. You see it's doing like crazy things from there. It's getting up and down. I want to get a nice curve here from the camera view also. So I'm I'm fixing it here and not fisting for sure. Hope there is no children here. Yeah, okay. Now it fixed. And now I need to work on the silhouette of the arm. So here you can see a hole. It is there previously too, but here it's not there anymore. And then it's back again. So now that the position is okay, I will rotate on the local y-axis. So the elbow doesn't move, and I will try to find again this little thing. And now it does make sense, you see? I have a nice, I don't remember the name we give to those. I don't remember, and I will just slightly bend the elbow, that it's almost a triangular shape here. Here it's getting squared, and here I have a nice square. I don't know if you get the idea here. And here I could almost like start bending the arm. But yeah, I think it's a good deal. So now my eyes are like, I can't really follow the animation anymore, but I think it does look cool. So I will play it in loop, then I will export it and render the playback. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, so I will stop here for this for today. I don't know, I might not have time to stream tomorrow because I have the class tomorrow morning at 6. and then I have to work on Noara for sure. So it might be tight for me to but I will see. Maybe during the day I will say, okay, I will do maybe a little stream, maybe only 2 hours or 1 hour and a half tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, it's yeah, I mean so the left arm is not polished and we haven't polished this part. But there is definitely a nice improvement compared to when we've started the stream on this section. So the whole kick and the gun, okay. And yeah, I haven't polished the arm on this one, but the torso is polished. And I need to double check this leg for sure. Okay. So any question? No? And Mariku, no problem. So Kamitori is saying in the best French ever, like that he's appreciating my work. So yeah, okay, no questions. Okay, I will just run the play blast. So I will switch to the other rig, the other model. Sorry. I will enable the dummy. Maybe I should, yeah, give the dummy some love too. I will have to polish this guy also at some point. I mean, there is like only 2 weeks to finish this animation before we start blocking the next one. And yeah, next week is going to be complicated because I will be on the road for 3 days. So yeah, I may not think about this right now. Okay, let's see how it goes. So you can see how slow it is with this model compared to the other one. And this is just because she has a lot of equipment pieces onto her legs and stuff like that. So it's really about the model here. Because the topology of the main body, etc., is the same. But all of those little equipment with a lot of polygons really increase the performance loss. So there is like yeah, 51,000 triangles on this one. And here only 20,000. So there is more than the doubles to match the you know this outfit, which is yeah, this is a lot. So let's render this. So it's not on the desktop for sure. Okay, combo assignment, render. I don't know, maybe here. I will create a new folder, Splining. Okay. Okay, I go to view, viewport render animation, and it will output it as a PNG sequence that I will open. I will load into After Effects. Oh. Where are you from, Kamitori? Thanks, Pimendes99. Oh, how do I controller? Good question and super simple answer. So you should see that I'm hiding controllers, but I'm hiding a lot of other things. And I'm just activating, deactivating the overlay here. So Luciano has given me the shortcut last time. It's Control Alt Z, I think. No. Alt Shift Z. Oh, Alt Shift Z. Okay. And what I did is that because I didn't know there was a shortcut already, I did assign a shortcut by right-clicking on it and change shortcut. Yeah. And I've set it with the power 2, which is near the, you know, don't know if you can see this, like here, so that I have my hand close to it when I'm working on it. So yeah, because I mean, I see like, again, as usual, a lot of people like creating pickers and like complex UI and stuff. This is absolutely not the way I work. I feel like having like another screen where you select the bone and then you go back onto the screen where you are animating your character is a waste of time. I prefer to click on my character and hide the controller using one hand that is not moving than moving my mouth back and forth. So yeah, that's my one of my secrets. All right, iAnimate, combo assignments, spline. Oh, I'm super tired. I'm sorry, guys. But... oh, sorry. I exported a movie file. Yeah. PNG, bababoo. Okay. Okay. Relative path, please. Okay. And yeah, start again. Okay, guys. We have just to wait like a few seconds. Any questions? Any love to be shown in the comments? So if you want to pay me, you can pay me in fresh hair because I really lacking of fresh hair right now. Okay, so I will just import so render, Splining. Okay, and I will replace it here. Look. Then I will need a good sound design, and that should sell the trick. So I will work on the background also. I will keep it. I don't like the movement of the elbow here because it goes like it's down, up, and it stays in place instead of I should have an intermediary pose here. I will just fix it right away because I've seen it and I don't want to miss that. you know, just a little bit, just to average the pose. Okay. Because this is the kind of thing, if I don't fix it right now, I will forget about it next time. I just had the chance to sew it right away, so yeah, I prefer it like that. Okay, but it's leaving the holster, so yeah, okay, I can work with that pose. Okay, so what I can do is just like render a couple of frames, 87 to 90, and refreshing in After Effects. Okay, can reload the pictures and look, it's fixed. Okay. Okay, I will export it into a video, but I think you've seen the result already. Or I will just keep it playing in After Effects and it's enough. So here it is real time. So yeah, this part here like really looks like crap. This don't absolutely don't like this. But for the other part of the combo, it's smooth, let's say. I wish it was more stylized, but yeah, that's cool. Okay, exports After Effects, baboom. Oh, okay. I will save this and close. Oh, sorry. It feels like the end. Okay. Here it is. Yeah, my eyes are. I'm. I've been watching this for too long now to be able to have any critics or whatever. So I will just call this done. So I will switch on my pretty face, and I will I will just wish you a good evening, a good morning, whatever, wherever you are, and I probably will see you tomorrow at the same time frame, more or less, but I'm not sure about it. But I will be there on Thursday for sure. So have a good one, and I will see you in the next streaming. Bye.